And Angela. So Angela, as you know, is our MD at the recruiting gym. This week is podcast week, and we thought who better to start with than Angela. So Angela, what are you talking about today? It must be weird you sitting in that seat and me introducing you, right?
It is weird, yes, and I got jealous last time when you did podcasting superheroes, because we have got a podcast. We've had it all the time with Alex Moyle. We've just never really used it. We put our Meet the Expert sessions on there. We put the Ask the Coach, but because we offer those in the recruiting gym as part of our pro bono courses, we've never really promoted it. So there's over 100 sessions on our podcast. So
it's amazing, because I was actually looking at the recruiting gym YouTube channel the other day, and there is loads of great content on there.
Well, that's the thing. And actually, yes, this is Hiring Happenings with a PESTLE twist. So this is our new podcast that we started last month. And it does make sense, really, if I go to it and get the introduction from it.
Give us a bit of an intro.
You'll see that I'm a bit of a Trump nut. So there's lots of Trump. So let's make that full screen. So here we go. Here's the intro. Let's share with you what it's all about.
Hiring Happenings is the new podcast from Recruiting Gym, bringing you hiring news every month with a PESTLE twist.
Sponsored by Monster.
Hello, and welcome to the first edition of Hiring Happenings, brought to you every month with a PESTLE twist. So we will explain what PESTLE is. I'm Angela Cripps, the MD of the Recruiting Gym. I have two fantastic guests with me this morning. Kate Shoesmith of the REC and Gordon Webb of Firefish. Now, this podcast wouldn't be happening if we didn't have the sponsorship of Monster. Now, Monster have been connecting job seekers and recruiters online since 1994. It's their 30th anniversary. So thank you to them as well. I'll get you to do a short introduction as to why politics was something that you were interested in, because we've got the P for PESTLE to kick us off. And we're going to start the first 6 months with a UK flavour. The second 6 months of 2024, we'll be looking at global. We talk about politics and we end up talking about pretty much every other topic. Let me unmute myself. So I did want to just clarify then the PESTLE. This is where
tell us more.
It's all come from. So I'm just trying to get to the PESTLE bit.
Okay, sure.
It's not letting me, but there you go. I'll mute this and put PESTLE. Leave it run until I hit the PESTLE bit. So PESTLE was something that was an analysis we did every quarter. So this was a bit like a SWOT analysis, where you do your strengths, your weaknesses, which tend to be internal, all about you, and then your opportunities and threats, which tend to be external. So we do that every quarter, and then usually once a quarter, maybe once every half year. It wasn't as important to do it as much. We'd go up and do the real big picture stuff of a PESTLE analysis. So this was looking at, you can look at it from your location. Initially we only had a 5-mile radius. So we would look at it from a local point of view. So local politics, what was going on? What was happening at the planning department? Who could we get in with there? Because from a recruitment point of view, we wanted to know what buildings were being built, that new businesses were moving in, and therefore we could get in at the planning stage, talk to the developers, find out who was selling the properties, and therefore find out who did they sell them to before it all got announced and the boards went up and so is moving into the area, because at that point you're usually a bit too late. So that's how we would get into the politics with the local government. This one, we're looking at it from a UK focus for the first 6 months, because most people now tend to do at least national with regards to their recruitment. They don't just stick to their location. If you're supplying temps, there may be, but if you're doing perms, it can be anywhere, can't it? So therefore, what's going on in politics that would have an impact on the hiring market? Well, as I was just about to go into there, and Kate Shoesmith was about to share, politics impacts everything. And certainly as a young person, I wasn't interested that much in politics. I didn't see the impact of it. So what I'm really glad to see is we've got someone that's doing a degree in politics at Birmingham University. So she's due to finish this year, Freya Bogdanovich, and she's written an article. So we'll have a blog each month that will be relevant to the topic as well. So Charlotte, if you could get the link to Freya's blog in there so people can read about that. And she's linked it to social media and the impact of that on politics and the youth. So that was fascinating. So
interesting. So then do you cover the other topics, the ESTLE, at your next session?
Yeah, so we're going to do one a month. So economics is this month, as we've literally just gone into a recession. So that was good timing. Well, the recession is for the last 6 months of last year. I'm hoping this quarter we pull back out of it again. It certainly feels that way, but we'll wait and see. So this month we've got Rohan Bowles from Compass Contracting, and we've got Marie Pegram from Recruitment Accountants. So he's the CFO, Chief Financial Officer of that company. She's a qualified accountant that works with recruitment agencies. So we deep dive into all things economics. So yes, the interest rates, the inflation, wage inflation, and the impact that it has. Okay. So we have 2 guests each month with a passion for that topic, that want to share their knowledge, and then we link it back to how that impacts the recruitment market. So the UK focus for the first 6 months, because PESTLE's got 6 letters, and then we're going global for the second 6 months.
Okay, that will be interesting.
We've actually got guests booked up until October. I'll do a post on all the guests that are booked, because when I started talking about this last year with people, the ones that have the passion for this topic is like, oh no, I'd love to be on it. So it was quite easy to book people. As soon as you were talking to them and you could hear what they were interested in, the likelihood is it's going to be one of these. Now, sociological, next month, the UK one, I had booked a lady and I've switched her to global, and I had a meeting with her on Friday, and I'm so glad I did, because her business is all about women on maternity leave. So Charlotte is a representative of that, or will be in a month or two as that's coming out. She'll be going off on maternity leave, and her company's called From Babies with Love, and it's about embracing those people on maternity leave to make it as easy as possible, to give them gifts that would be relevant, to welcome them back. But it's expanded, and her company now is going more towards onboarding new starters, which is a passion for mine. I've done so many sessions on it the last couple of months.
That sounds really interesting. Yeah. So do you have a set day that you do the recording, that it goes out, or how do you do it?
Yeah, so it goes out the last day of the month. So this one will go on 29th. So that's easy to stick to. We don't have a set day for recording, because it's like trying to herd cats, trying to get especially
with 2 guests. Yes,
exactly, especially with half term and everything. So the last 2 weeks of February were out. So we record it there also, so that we can edit it. I want people that really want to speak their minds and have something to say. We want to give them the option of an edit. It's sponsored by Monster, and we would have loved to have had Rob McMillan, the marketing manager that we deal with, on the first lot, but Monster said, no, let's just see how this goes before you put yourself out there. So he'll be
fair enough. The safe option.
Yeah, and it's Monster worldwide anyway. They are global, so it makes sense to do it that way. You can tell I'm a bit passionate about this.
What was the thinking behind it to come up with this, and who thought of doing the PESTLE focus? It's an interesting way of looking at it.
Well, it was my idea, because what I've been seeing with a lot of consultants is a lack of business acumen, a lack of knowledge, very insular in just recruiting for a job, head down, and just focused on that. So when you start talking, let's take legislative, when you start talking about acts that impact their work, there are so many recruiters that aren't appreciative. I mean, there's at least 14 different acts in the UK here that you need to be aware of if you're recruiting. Certainly a lot of people that start in recruitment have no idea, because none of us do. It's like, what? So to be able to bring that knowledge in 45 minutes each month, to give them a taster, to let them know what's going on now, what's happening, and what they should be aware of. So my hope is that people will then get a bit more interested in the topic and do more reading. So we give lots of links to white papers and documents and other blogs and all the information that they might be interested in. Other podcasts, let's say. So we've got The Rest is Politics here in the UK, which is 2 ex-politicians, Alistair Campbell, who was the spin doctor really for Tony Blair and the Labour government when that was at its highest. And Rory he's been a minister for many of the different areas actually, and he was a Conservative minister, but resigned with this Conservative government and really doesn't appreciate. So you've got the Labour and the
sounds a bit controversial.
Yeah, exactly, and it's the top podcast here in the UK. The Rest is Politics, it's called. So we'll get those details on there. So okay, if it's not your bag, all of these, politics, economics, sociological. I mean, yes, sociological has to be because it's all about people and people industry. Technological, I'm guessing most people love that as well. We've got Hung Lee on that one. Oh, damn it, I've forgotten the other one. Oh, Wendy from Firefish, of course.
Excellent. My guest tomorrow will be on there. Fantastic. Perfect. Yes.
So I think the S and the T, most people are interested in. The L they should know about but don't. And then environmental as well. So looking at what's happening, because that's probably one of the biggest growth markets that there is, whether you're recruiting for it or you're just aware of it. So having some knowledge that you can share, and to answer your question in a long-winded way, the reason was because we wanted people to go and have these conversations with their customers. So whether it's their clients or their candidates, but knowing current affairs, knowing what's happening, knowing how it impacts, to then be able to ring up a client, let's say, okay, how's the new legislation that's coming in on April 1st, or the new minimum wage that's had the biggest hike that it's had. So we go into that in the economics bit this month. How's that going to impact your business? Let's say in the short term, in the next 3 to 6 months, but what about the longer term? And therefore, those type of conversations, you never know what they're going to throw up. But we're called recruitment consultants. We're meant to consult. We're meant to have this knowledge to be able to help our candidates and our clients make the best decisions. And I felt it was missing. I felt there wasn't anything out there necessarily.
What's really interesting with this model, though, Angela, is that you could actually take this and you could get someone local. Like if I think about, where I'm based in South Africa, you could actually have hiring happen, South African version, and then run it for 6 months, taking all of these factors into account. You can actually get, join it up, because it will be very unique, depending on where you are in the world.
Yeah. So the global one, it will be topics and things that are impacting. But even then, on the politics, we started last month. 70 countries this year are having a general election.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, we're coming up definitely. And we were just waiting for the announcement of which weekend the voting weekend is going to be now. Got the US around the corner. So that's going to be super interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they know exactly when it's going to be. Every 4 years, same date, same changeover. Here in the UK, I mean, in the last 5 years, we've had 4 prime ministers, haven't we? So just never know. But we don't necessarily get to vote for them. So we're sort of every 5 years a general election, but the incumbent government gets to pick when they want it. There's a last date, which is January next year, is the latest it can be, but they can choose any time that they want. And sometimes 2 years in, they've called a general election. Boris did that, and it was like, what? We just had one. Go again. So it is fascinating. What's let's just have a look here. Sandra Feldman says, woohoo, go Vanessa. It's always great morning when I see you. Oh, well, you get all week this week.
Hello, Sandra. All week, yes, we're talking to podcasting heroes. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a good week.
Wonderful. No, love that. Well, that's our 15 minutes. I've banged on enough about ours. But
excellent. So, Angela, thank you very much for being my first guest on Monday, our first podcasting superhero. Tomorrow we have Wendy McDougall from Firefish. Wednesday we have Claire Davis from Mental Health Matters. And Thursday, we have Christine for joining us from Green Umbrella Marketing for Recruiters. And Friday, we have Happiness Happens with Sarah Naylor. So it's going to be a nice week. All ladies this week, which is just kind of the way it's worked out. I didn't kind of really design that, but it's how it's worked out. And I'm really looking forward to a fun week. So guys, 9 a.m. UK time, 11 a.m. South African time. Look forward to seeing you this week. Have a good one.
Fantastic. Thanks
Thanks,
everyone.
Angela.
Bye-bye.